Hi, my name is Babette. Welcome to lesson 14 from my book, Babette's Quick Start Guide to Theory for Fiddlers, Book 1. And this lesson is titled The Third Most Important Note in the Scale. Remember, we've done the most important note and the second most important note, and now we're going to work on the third most important note. There are a couple of ways to easily find the fourth note. Take, for example, the key of A. Starts on A. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. So you could go right from the start of the scale to find the fourth most important note, which remember is called the subdominant. I'm going to show you another way to find that fourth note in the scale and how it relates on the violin. Let's start with the key of E. Play your open E. That E is 1. Then play one string lower, which is your open A, and that is 4. E is 1, A is 4, but we can easily check that. E, F, G, A. Every E is 1, every A is 4. And remember, the fourth note of the scale, which is the third most important note in the scale, is called the subdominant. Let's check that in the key of A. Play your open A. That is 1. Then play one string lower, the open D. That D is 4. You can check that. A, B, C, D. A is 1, D is 4. Every A is 1, and every D is 4 in the key of A. And lastly, we'll look at the key of D. Play your open D. That D is 1. Now play the next lower string. That's your open G string. That G is 4. We can double check that. D, E, F, G. D is 1, G is 4. Every D is 1 in the key of D, and every G is 4 in the key of D. Okay, let's take a look at the worksheet for the third most important note in the scale. Question 1. What is the third most important note in the scale? The third most important note in the scale is the fourth note. Question 2. What is the most important note in the scale? The most important note in the scale is the first note. Question 3. What is the second most important note in the scale? The second most important note in the scale is the fifth note. Question 4. What words out of the following describe the third important note in the scale? So, no. Subdominant, yes. Dominant, no. Fifth degree, no. Fa, yes. And I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned that in the lesson, but you can figure it out by going do, re, mi, fa, up 4 degrees. And the last one is fourth degree. Yes, it is. Question 5. What notes are the first, fourth, and fifth in the following keys? Well, we'll start with the key of G. The first is G. The fourth, we're going to have to count. G, A, B, C. So C is the fourth in the key of G. The fifth is a D. In the key of D, The first is D, the fourth is G, and the fifth is A. In the key of A, the first is A, the fourth is D, and the fifth is E. And in the key of E, the first is E, the fourth is A, and the fifth, we're going to have to count again. E, F, G, A, B. The fifth in the key of E is B. And now for our review questions. Question 1. What is the interval between two adjoining notes in the circle of fifths? The interval between those two adjoining notes is a perfect fifth. Question 2. In the key of G, what note do you want to play most often when playing in the background? When playing in the background, we want to play the fifth most often. So in the key of G, that 5 is D. And question 3. How many flats are there in the key of B flat? Okay, let's review how to get there. We're going to put our first finger in the low position starting on the E string. And we're going to count over until we arrive at the B flat. So on the E string, that low finger is an F, natural. Then we move the finger over to the A string, and there's our B flat. So we've covered 2 strings. That means there are 2 flats in the key of B flat. And what are they? Well, we know that the first flat is B flat. And to find the second flat, we move our first finger 1 string lower, and that is an E flat. Thank you for watching this lesson. Please leave any questions or comments you have, and I will get to you as quickly as possible. Thank you.